This week we're back with 20 more dashcam videos sent to us by the people who captured them, along with the stories they told us about what happened. Welcome to Wham Bam Dashcam. Chase was driving his Kia Soul in Portland, Oregon, when the driver of a pickup truck pulling a U-Haul trailer ran a red light, cutting in front of him and leaving him with no time to react or avoid a collision. Chase T-boned the trailer and his airbags deployed in the impact. His car was totaled after first responders had to use the jaws of life to extricate him from the vehicle. Even with this dashcam footage clearly showing that the pickup driver ran a red light, it still took over 6 months for his insurance provider to accept responsibility. Even so, Chase is grateful he had footage proving that the other guy had been the one to run the red light. He told us, "I would recommend anybody driving to get a dashcam." We couldn't agree more. Luke had been watching a pickup driver ahead of him driving aggressively for a while. After the pickup merged to the right, the driver of a sedan changed lanes without looking or signaling and sideswiped the pickup. The sedan driver slammed on the brakes in the middle of the highway, forcing other drivers to swerve around them. The pickup driver stopped less abruptly while Luke made his way to the inside shoulder. Luke gave his contact info to both drivers so they could reach out for his dashcam footage. Thankfully, nobody appeared to have been injured. Ivan watched a black pickup truck back into traffic. Man, what's with all the pickup drivers in this episode? I swear, we aren't doing this on purpose. We've just been getting a lot of submissions involving pickup trucks. Incredibly, a sheriff's deputy was one of the drivers forced to stop for the pickup, and he repaid the driver with a serving of instant justice. Allie was on her way to work when she pulled up behind another car at a red light. Check out what happened just as she took her foot off the brake to continue. The driver of the other car then took off, leading Allie on a brief chase before she was forced to pull over by the fact that her car was leaking coolant. Allie called the police, and they took an hour to respond. The other driver told Allie she couldn't provide her insurance info because it was on her phone, which she didn't have. Thankfully, the cops were able to look up her insurance info. She admitted to looking away from the road to change the radio station, but later she lied to her insurance provider about everything that had happened. After seeing the video, her insurance provider found her at fault and paid $6,800 to repair Allie's vehicle. Allie says, "If you don't have a camera, I highly recommend getting one." Jeremy is an Uber driver who was transporting a passenger when he came across a PT Cruiser burning on the side of the road. Thankfully, the driver was out of the car. Jeremy asked us to shout out his passenger Vinny, the coolest passenger ever. Eli was heading to work when the driver of a Ford Fusion ran a stop sign and nearly hit Eli's Subaru Forester. Eli's combined reaction of swerving, honking, and braking prevented a collision. After getting to work, he double-checked for any damage, but he didn't find any. MJ was stopping for a red light when the driver behind him suddenly slammed into him. The other driver claimed his brakes had failed. The cops could have cited him $700 for improper equipment, but instead they went easy on him and cited him $25 for driving too closely and not paying attention. How nice! Nicholas was on his way to work, driving with the flow of traffic at about 75 miles per hour. Suddenly, the driver ahead of him sped up. Hold up, did you see that Virginia State Trooper chilling in the median? Neither did the other driver, evidently. Unfortunately for him, the trooper hopped in his car and took off after the speeder. Nicholas continued on his way to work, leaving the other guy to enjoy his instant justice. He told us that, "You guys have brought compilation videos to a whole new level. Thanks, Nicholas, we're glad you're satisfied." Sam was on his way home in bad weather when he crested a hill to find 2 pairs of headlights ahead, one of which was in his lane.
You mother... Hit it, yeah, go, hit it. Go, gas it up, brother. Yeah, perfect. Woo!
Evidently, one car was stuck trying to get up the hill, and another driver had gone into Sam's lane to get around them. This forced Sam to go off the road to avoid a collision since he couldn't stop while going downhill. Sam barely managed to make it back onto the road without getting stuck in the snow himself. That was a close call for a couple of reasons. Marcus was 3 minutes from home on his way to work. As he was making his way through a roundabout, another driver cut across his lane to exit the roundabout early, clipping Marcus's Audi A6. Both drivers stopped, each one insisting the other was at fault. Thankfully, after reviewing his dashcam footage, Marcus's insurance provider notified him that they'd found the other driver at fault. His Audi is now at a body shop getting repaired. Aiden was driving when he encountered an SUV stalled in the road. When he spoke with the driver, together they decided to push the vehicle off the road and into a nearby parking lot. They still couldn't get her vehicle running, so Aiden gave the other driver a ride home only a few blocks away. Thanks for helping out somebody in need, Aiden. You the real MVP. Austin was headed to the mall with his friends Dallas and Leo. When their protected left turn arrow turned green, an oncoming driver ran their red light and cut in front of Austin. Austin slammed the brakes and honked while the other driver kept on going. Amazingly, if we freeze the footage, we can confirm what Austin told us he saw. The other driver was holding her phone when she ran the red light. I could be wrong, but it also looks like there's a baby carrier in the back seat. I wonder if she's on her way to the annual Parenting Awards show. Christian was following behind a Mercedes when the driver signaled to turn left. He thought she was moving to the right to allow him to pass, but then she turned left and stopped in the median. Christian wasn't expecting her to stop and rear-ended the Mercedes. Even though he thinks the accident was her fault, he had to pay to fix his Nissan Xterra out of his own pocket. He told us he's learned a lot from our channel and has since taken defensive driving classes, so he'll know how to avoid situations like this in the future. He also sent along a shout-out for his father, who helped him fix his truck. Brian was headed down a snow-covered road at about 35 miles per hour when he watched the trucker behind him start to lose control.
Truck's fighting off.
Oh yeah, I see it. You just go.
Yeah, get out of the way. Holy, he made it.
Even though the truck drifted into the other lane and the trailer started sliding sideways, the trucker managed to save it. Thankfully, there was no oncoming traffic. Cheyenne was on her way to school with her mom in the car when they noticed police lights flashing up ahead.
Hey.
The driver in the other lane decided to move over to give the cop more room, but they didn't check their blind spot first and nearly sideswiped Cheyenne's Ford Fusion. Thankfully, she noticed and avoided any contact. This emitter was hurrying to reach a traffic light. Suddenly, a blue Mustang lunged into the road, T-boning our submitter's Fiat as he tried to swerve around it. After watching the dashcam footage, the responding police officer found the Mustang driver responsible. Fixing the damage to the submitter's vehicle cost the equivalent of about $842 US. But our submitter is just happy nobody was injured and his vehicle didn't get rolled over. This emitter had just finished some evening grocery shopping with his wife when he entered a roundabout on his usual route home. Thankfully, our submitter was paying attention and slammed on the brakes when he noticed another driver wasn't slowing down for the roundabout. He told us he's been watching the Wham Bam Tesla Cam videos for a long time and he expects to become a regular submitter to this channel. Thanks, man. We hope you only send us close calls and no actual collisions. Kaysen was driving in stop-and-go traffic on the interstate when he was rear-ended by a Nissan Altima. The Altima driver was also rear-ended, but the other driver fled the scene and was never found. Thankfully, nobody was injured. Repairing his Chevy Bolt cost $6,000 US, which the other driver's insurance provider paid for. They also paid for a rental car, and they even paid for the gas, since Kaysen normally doesn't need to buy any. This next story is absolutely wild. Joan was out looking for his sister's car after she'd called to tell him it had been stolen. Within 20 minutes, he spotted it being gassed up and turned around while calling his sister. Little did he know, she wasn't far behind him and had also spotted the car. When she pulled into the gas station to confront the thief, they fled the scene, folding back a door in the process. Joan immediately began pursuing the stolen car in his Ford F-150 Lightning. He proceeded to chase them through neighborhoods for over 3 harrowing minutes, which he admits was dumb and unnecessary. During the chase, both drivers repeatedly ran stop signs and used oncoming lanes to get around traffic, all the while exceeding posted speed limits and being very reckless. Thankfully, no collisions occurred. Then, as Joan was still pursuing the car thief, one of his other sisters in her car also spotted the fleeing criminal and tried to turn around, blocking Joan and forcing him to hit the curb at 40 miles per hour to avoid hitting her. This triggered a traction control warning, but he tried to continue chasing the stolen car anyway. Unfortunately, he lost sight of them and they got away. Thankfully, no damage was done to the Lightning. They did call the cops, but they were told they wouldn't pursue the thief. The police noted major damage to the gas pump in their report. The next day, the owner of a parking lot notified Joan's sister that her car had been dumped there, minus the wheels and some other parts. What a crazy story. We're just glad nobody was hurt. Huge thanks to Joan for sharing this video with us. If you need your car detailed near Bridgeport, Connecticut, look up Auto Care Mobile Detailer and don't forget to check out his F-150 Lightning when he shows up. Damian sent us a video that made me realize I've never really stopped to consider how the Golden Arches get transported to a new McDonald's location, or maybe what happens to them if one closes. He told us, "There's something about that car, I'm loving it." We hope you loved this episode too. If you did, consider subscribing.